Hi, I'm Prescali Lugo, and I would like to take you to a learning journey. You are a seafarer, and you are here and you would like to go to this destination. What do you need to do to get there? Yes, you know so well you need to prepare a voyage plan. Let's recall, what is a voyage plan? A voyage plan is a comprehensive and detailed planning you undertake for you to be able to reach your destination the shortest and safest way possible. It involves appraisal, planning, execution, and monitoring. Now, as a maritime instructor, you need to have a plan for you to facilitate learning and achieve the desired learning outcome. I am going to walk you through how to prepare this plan, which we call as Instructor's Guide or Lesson Plan. The Instructor's Guide or IG is a document developed by you as an instructor which serves as a roadmap of what the trainees need to learn and how it will be done effectively.
Let me emphasize that the learning outcome for a lesson provides for the starting point in the preparation of your IG. Your lesson has two parts. First, the initial information about the lesson, and second, the teaching and learning activities. What are the information you provide in the first part of the plan? Let's take a look at the first line. Course, you have to indicate the course title. And then, the topic. The topic is based on the knowledge, understanding, and proficiency, or what we call always as KUP, which is based on a given competence from the table of competences of your TCW code. Next is the statement of your learning outcome. If you recall, your learning outcome is what you expect your trainees to do or demonstrate at the end of your instruction. When you formulate your learning outcomes, you have to remember that you have to take into account the competence and the level of responsibility as stipulated in the table of competences of the TCW code. You are likewise to specify details such as your target trainees and how many they are, or the course intake limitation.
It is also important that you determine the class layout at the onset because it will help you facilitate learning and ensure interaction between you and your trainees and among the trainees themselves. At the end of every lesson, you would want to know if the trainees have achieved the learning outcomes. Hence, you have to specify the formative assessment activities. The class layout and the formative assessment activities are the last entry of the first part of your IG.
It's time to look at the second part of your instructor's guide, which essentially is about the teaching and learning activities. It has 6 components: time allocation, phases of the lesson, content for its phase, instructor-led activity, the training learning activity, and the instructional materials to be used. However, you need to determine how much time do you have to deliver the lesson. Then, you need to plan for the introduction, the core element, and the conclusion of the lesson within the time available. Let's say, for example, you will be teaching a refresher course on PSCRB and your topic is how to write an inverted life raft while wearing a life jacket. For the formative assessment, we're going to use written test, specifically multiple choice type of test and a direct question. We're also going to use practical assessment, taking into account the learning outcomes of this lesson. Moving on, let's talk about fleshing out the second part of your IG. In the introduction, you are setting the mode for learning. So you have to see to it that you gain the attention of your trainees. inform them of the learning outcome, and stimulate recall of their prior learning. Having said that, let us try fleshing out the introductory part of your lesson. We have allocated 30 minutes for the introduction with the following content: sample C incidents, reasons for the seafarers in attending the refresher course, and the learning outcomes of your lesson. On the content, sample C incidents, we're going to use a video clip where we're going to ask the trainees in pairs to identify the situation which lead to use of survival craft. Afterwards, let the trainees share their experiences on board. These are the instructor-led activities. Correspondingly, the trainee learning activity will be watching and discussing. For the content, reasons for the seafarers in attending refresher course and their instructor-led activity, use Q&A discussion. On the learning outcomes of the lesson, all you need to do is explain them in detail while the trainees are listening and taking notes. You will be utilizing video clips and PowerPoint presentations as your instructional materials. In planning for the core elements, bear in mind that this is where you present the lesson, provide guidance, and elicit performance. On the core element, which is the body of the lesson, you must allocate more time. And since this is an 8-hour session, we have allocated 7 hours, 2 hours for the theoretical aspects and 5 hours for the practical activities. Writing an inverted life raft is the content of the core element. As part of your activity, you may use group work. You divide the class into 4 groups and provide them sample SMS. Ask them to discuss the procedure in writing an inverted life raft from the sample SMS that you had provided. Then let them determine if the procedure is sufficient and appropriate. The trainee learning activity are participating and performing as instructed. You have to provide them a handout on SMS. Another instructor-led activity is demonstration. Following the procedure discussed, show how an inverted life raft is righted. Return demonstration and actual performance will be the trainee learning activity. For the demonstration part, you will be using life jacket, life raft, and swimming pool or a body of water where the practical exercises can be conducted. The conclusion is where you provide feedback, assess performance, and enhance retention and transfer.
We are now on the third phase of your IG, the conclusion. We have 30 minutes for this. For emphasis, the content is procedure in writing an inverted life raft. Your activity as instructor is guided discussion. This will serve as debriefing using peer review. The trainees are expected to participate, share insights and learnings gained. Another activity to end the session is to ask trainees to make a generalization in relation to the learning outcomes. You can use whiteboard to write the responses of the trainees during the guided discussion and the generalization they have made.
In preparing your IG down to the execution, you are actually following the 9 events of instruction. These 9 events set the mental conditions of your trainees such that knowledge absorption and retention will occur. What I have shown you is a sample IG. Take note, however, that your teaching and learning activities will vary depending on several factors. However, the primary consideration is the learning outcome. What are the 2 main parts of the IG? In organizing your teaching and learning activities, why must you have an introduction, a core element, and a conclusion? The next time you prepare your IG, remember, what is important is not what you do, but what your trainees are able to do at the end of the learning experience. Once again, this is Prescali Lugo, your partner in learning.